God. Nope. And that's how the story ended. Anyway, I order a third one,
Yeah.
and Robin comes in 3 weeks later. Where did you say you lost your pen? In your car. Yeah, she's got it in her hand. It had apparently fallen out of my pocket,
Okay. I've had that happen.
and instead of doing what most of my stuff, my good stuff does, my pen is a rebel. It did not actually just fall into that little place along the side where you put maps,
Yep.
narcotics, small children,
A gun.
you know, whatever you think you may need, and some things you don't. Actually, my water bottle fits in everything. Anyway, so now I have 3 pens because I had ordered another one because I had 2 pens. Do you see a problem developing here?
Yes. You got to go back to stealing pens. Buying
No,
them. It doesn't seem to work for you.
So I have 3 pens, and the icky one got lost,
Oh, good.
and I've torn up the house.
And
Nothing.
it'll be there sooner or later. It's coming back.
And I'm not ordering another third pen.
Because then you'd have 4.
Yeah, and this I could see. Maybe it's just me, but I could see this getting out of hand quick. Or has it already?
Yeah, I think
For a $20 pen, I've now spent $60 on pens.
so. It reminds me of
Oh heavens!
oftentimes when I'm getting dressed, I'll just grab all the clothes I'm going to put on and throw them on the bed, whether the bed's made or not.
Yeah,
Right? Just throw them
And
on the
then-
bed, including my wallet, whatever's
Yep.
in the pockets of the old pants that I've just tossed in the laundry,
yeah.
all of that stuff. Right? So one day I'm leaving the house and I habitually check my back pocket for my wallet
Because you've been places,
without it.
and it's not good.
And I've also bought a wallet that's bright orange now. So it's easier to find when I've lost
Is it a fashion statement?
No,
Sure.
it's just a way for me to see it better.
Yeah. If I could get one that looks like the clapper.
And it would light up or beep or something. So now I'm
And wait a
tearing
minute.
that.
When you can't find something, you ask your wife, what are the first words out of her mouth?
Where'd you see it last?
Yep. Where'd you leave it? If I knew that, I could get it.
Adventures in ADHD.
That's
So-
a whole lot like telling your wife in the middle of an argument, honey, just calm down.
Yeah. So I'm tearing the house apart, tearing the truck apart, just going, I don't know where. I had it in my hand. I put it on the bed, which is where Ann found it.
It got under some of the sheety things.
And I made the bed.
And it was underneath the thingy.
Everything. And Ann goes, oh, does this ring a bell here? What's that little lump? And
Oh, see, I never have that problem. I never make the bed. And my wife has to have the bed made or she really can't get into it.
that's like Ann. She does love it to be made first.
And the best nights of Robin's life.
Are the nights you're gone?
No, the second best night are when the sheets have been washed,
Yeah.
placed newly on the bed. The sheet that you got the folded sheet, which no one can fold.
Yep.
The fitted sheet, nobody you can't fold.
Yeah.
Those. If someone came up with a way to hang those or something so you could store them,
Yep.
rich, instead of a ball in the corner. The cover sheet is over. The blanket is on. The comforter is put over the top, and everything's perfect.
And tucked in so that
And that's
your toes actually hurt.
That's during the day.
Oh.
Because at night when she gets in, there won't be any wrinkles or anything. It'll be perfect. I, on the other hand, go, oh, look, Beck.
Right, exactly.
Whether I go right to sleep or not is immaterial.
I tear out the bottom because it hurts my feet to have them all tucked in, and Ann loves to be tucked in like a mummy. She wants to be swaddled, for Pete's sake.
I never see it now with the neuropathy thing.
We did try it a couple of times, but didn't go the way I thought it would. She went
Oh
to
my
sleep.
God, look at the time.
So you want to jump into mailbag, do you?
I do, because this has been fruitful so far.
I leave it unmade constantly, so we should both be very comfortable.
Mailbag?
Mailbag.
Oh,
So I got a joke for you.
You leave it unmade, right? Mailbag
Yes, I
is
leave
what
it
you-
unmade. I got a joke for you.
Hang on, Martin was worried for a second. Go ahead.
In England, not yet. It's not done. I'm setting it up. I'm using dramatic pauses. Booster shot is spelled
Is that anything like cat pauses?
Worcestershire shot.
Huh?
Worcestershire shot. Like
No. Go back.
Worcestershire.
Go back. We started in England.
Booster shot is pronounced Worcestershire shot. Or it's spelled that way. Oh, God. Patrick's getting this.
I have a question.
And you're not. What?
Why?
Because Worcestershire sauce is spelled Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah, but how does that get to be booster? Oh, no.
Good God.
It doesn't sound that much alike. Are these people from Massachusetts? They're from Massachusetts. You can tell me, aren't they?
Well, it was.
We should mock them roundly for being
Ian
from
sent
Massachusetts. Well,
it to
there's
me.
several freaking reasons.
That was funny.
How's Tom Brady these days, folks?
Yeah, exactly.
I believe most would refer to him as traitor.
Well, you know. Actually, I thought he did quite well. I'd hold nothing against him. I know a lot of people who just
You don't live in New England.
Yeah, I don't care.
They do.
I wouldn't care if he was in Minnesota.
I would. I don't want him in.
Would you?
Actually, I would take Tom Brady before I take Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
But luckily, oddly, the Viking front office hardly ever calls me. There was the one time, and that didn't work out well. So.
Did not work out well at all. I think, weren't you in charge of the Gary Quazzo thing and the whole broken collarbone?
Quazzo actually worked for them, man.
Yeah, he did.
He did what he had to do. Quazzo capped Norm Snead when he was old.
Norm. I'd forgotten about Norm.
Norm Van Brocklin when he was old. Well, he was the coach, though.
Yeah, but Van
Back
Brocklin
when
was...
coaches had yellow fingers. You know why?
Because they smoked on the sidelines.
Yeah. In the bathroom, at church, everywhere.
They smoke in the church's bathroom. So...
You didn't have to. You could smoke in the church.
And Jesus said, put the smokes out. We've got actual alcohol in the
weird part is I don't
blood of
remember
Christ
anyone
at this time.
ever smoking in church.
I don't recall anybody ever smoking.
But I do
in
recall
church
them
during
lighting up
church.
in that narthex as soon as they were past the
Yeah, they
door.
shook hands and started and lit the heater.
See, I grew up in a Catholic church. The pastor was never back there. He had to get ready for the next mass. We didn't have to go through that lovely sermon. I loved
the part where you
What
used
you
your
said.
conjunction properly.
I loved the part where you said in closing.
With every head bowed and every eye closed. And I
At
said, I
other
got you
churches-
beat by 25 minutes.
What I want to know is what do golfers do at other churches? My dad on Sunday, and I know this because I could go with the caddy, which meant I rode in the cart with him.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't trusting me with his clubs. He's met me. Hang on. That's bothering me. Thank you. You're gaining weight, dude? No, a little bit? Okay.
Get him some GLP-1.
What? Oh, God, I'm so tired of that. Every time I turn around, that's my ad. GLP-1 or what's the other one? Fat away or whatever they call it.
Well, they all are agonists for forcing your body to make GLP-1.
Yeah. Anyway, where was I? Oh, so in Mass, conveniently towards the end of Mass, what should be the crescendo is when you receive communion.
Okay.
And you could always tell the Sunday 7:00 Mass who had golf tea times because after communion, instead of going back to their pew, they would just keep right on going.
Out the door.
Out the door to the cars.
Sunday morning tea
I'm
time.
just wondering now, after spending a long time in the Protestant church, because you could probably get away with it in my Lutheran church because they do a lot. The service looks much the same.
Yeah.
It's not, but they look much the same. And what do you do in Protestant churches where you only have like communion, I don't know what,
Once a month? Yeah, they used to do
or
once a month.
less, once a quarter.
Yeah.
So it's special.
So, ours as a Methodist church does it every Sunday.
Really?
Yeah. And I kind of dig that. I think it's cool.
United Methodist?
ARF?
Are you United Methodist Church?
Yes.
There are still some Christians left.
Yeah. Yeah. And that bush we worship at the front of the church.
At what?
The bush,
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. Go ahead, carry on. We were at Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah, well, did you have that was my joke. Do you have a story or anything that you thought was apropos for?
Well, some bozo sent in some of the stuff from April Fool's Day.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Apparently, history-wise, April Fool's Day ties to 1582. The change
Okay.
from
Yep.
the Julian to the Gregorian.
Yep. Where April 1st was not the beginning of the year.
Yes.
Yep.
But they're supposed some of the most famous April Fool's pranks. 2021, then First Lady Jill Biden pretended to be a flight attendant on an airplane traveling from California to Washington.
Just to get a free flight to Washington.
That's my guess. She wore a Jasmine name tag and passed out Dove ice cream bars while wearing a black mask, black pants. Oh, because it was 2021. And
well,
yeah,
that's not a prank.
Google co-founders Larry Page and but it's the First Lady. Google co-founder, or some would say the president. Google co-founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin became a new Page. I'd never heard Sergey before. Okay, or Sergey. Became known for announcing outlandish ideas every April Fool's Day after they started the company. One year, of course, they posted a job opening for a Copernicus Research Center on the moon. How many applications you get, and how many of those people were named Sheldon?
That sounds like fun.
It also planned to roll out their scratch and sniff search engine. Okay, that's clever. I don't even look at social media on April 1st anymore.
Oh, yeah.
In 1992, NPR's Talk of the Nation program announced that former President Richard Nixon, who resigned in 1974, would be running for president, according to the Museum of Hoaxes. And everyone, as they do with NPR News, didn't care.
Right, exactly, because nobody cares.
They haven't really had a news story in years.
Well, they haven't covered it, but basically all they do is interpret it through their lens.
The BBC in 1980, back when I think they still were some semblance of an actual news agency as well. BBC World Service, 1980, declaring Big Ben is becoming digital and be renamed Dave. Digital Dave. That came out of Parliament. So
that's pretty good.
I like that. British Parliament still has a sense of humor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Other than that, the ones on Facebook were rather bland I saw this year.
Yeah, you're right. Most of them were. Did you see what KQRS did on April 1st?
No. Are they still running?
Yeah, they
were doing the rebuild the brand thing.
Yep, and they played one song by a local Minnesota rock band for 24 hours. And like a lot of stations do when they're going to change format. I guess they're just revamping their classic rock format.
Yep.
And so what? I mean,
does anyone remember?
Who cares?
When we were boys.
When I was a boy.
CCO.
WCCO.
Referred to everyone as CCO. And then it became 830 WCCO. It's a 50,000 watt clear channel AM station that was huge, and let's just be honest, it won the ratings every year for centuries.
Radio 4, the Northwest. Wait, that was the TV version.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
TV for the 4. It was Channel 4.
And it was big news when WLOL for a moment looked like it might, maybe challenge them. It didn't.
Didn't
tried, but it was still, as most radio stations were back then, a second place finish. As a matter of fact, every station in the market was fighting for second.
It was a pop radio station.
And then came Tom Bernard, KQ. It was Bernard and Culhane when they first toppled it.
Yes.
And,
that is the better iteration.
That's the best, I think.
Yeah.
Was Terry with that duo?
No. Terry came later. She came after...
because Terry was fun.
She came after Mary Ann Sullivan.
Yes. Anyway, and then KQ owned it. But it was not what it was in the old days when, WCCO had 95% of all the houses, and the rest of you can figure out who wants you.
Yeah.
And now KQ, what is it? I don't even know what's number one. Is KTIS like the...
No, do you know who owns the market? KFan.
Really?
Sports Talk Radio.
Really?
It owns the men and the appropriate demographic by miles.
So you take all of the best parts of radio, take that out, make a sports talk station.
You listen.
I do.
So
I
there.
keep telling people that there are folks that have strong opinions on PA, Paul Allen, the morning
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the voice of the Vikings.
Yep.
And he is called, I believe, a Wolves game now and a Wild game. So he's become an institution.
He's a sports guy.
Yeah.
He's a good guy, too.
He was like Ray Christensen, except he's got a big ego.
Yeah.
Whereas Ray just called several 100,000 games in his career, just did that.
And a big voice, too.
He does have a great voice. And he is, I try to explain to them, I love Paul Allen for the simple fact that, one, he's a blatant homer.
Yep.
And makes no bones about it. And that's what radio should be.
Yes.
If you want fair and unbiased, you're screwed because there is none. None.
Exactly that.
None. Anyway.
Doesn't exist.
But Paul is a general manager's wet dream.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he's entertaining, more or less.
Well, and he's
He
smart.
keeps things moving.
He knows how to
articulate,
call it. Holy
and
heat.
he will filter in those weird little mentions and as you so love.
Yep.
As a GM, because, a little extra mention here or there for your client is always good. He will just filter those in like, no big deal. That's what we're talking about.
Yep. He's a pro's pro.
Although how the jewelry store and the football game, I don't know. Maybe it's got JJ's teeth or something.
You know what JJ's wearing around his neck, right? Well, that came from.
Not even that, though. He's so subtle with it. He's excellent.
Yeah.
And they go, no, he's not. He's a blah, blah. They either love him because he's funny, which he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got all the perfect little wokeisms that he uses.
Yep.
About the love covenant and blah, blah, blah. Good for him. But he is, Paul Allen. Then you've got the common man who's just so like Dan Cole.
He's so bleeping weird. I love his weirdness.
I like Dan Cole. And then they have Dan Barrera, who I read Dan for years in the paper.
Yep.
Then he was with Hartman, and I never listened to him because
I used to listen to him, but I was still working there.
Who was Hartman with? Chad and
Jeremy.
Sure.
Belle Biv DeVoe.
That was had the problem.
Oh.
Dubé.
Yes. That poor kid.
Yeah.
That's a tough monkey to get rid of.
Yeah. They were very entertaining, though.
Yeah, they were.
But Barrero I still listen to for the simple reason as sometimes I agree with him wholeheartedly and other times he pisses me off. And I figured that's about as middle of the road as you're going to get.
Yeah, I listen to National Public Radio until they say something really stupid. That's when I kick over to K-Fan. I'm going to listen to stupidity.
You last, 9-10 seconds at a...
It depends, because, it's like, we're talking about an Arkansas woman who stubbed her toe and how climate change made that possible.
Climate change and Donald Trump are the reason.
Yeah, and they do it. It drives me nuts.
And they keep doing it.
Speaking of which.
Yes.
Well, actually, kindness. This is Human Kindness from 1440. It's a story from Karen J. in Arizona. You ready?
Why did you sound like Casey Kasem just then? Okay, go ahead.
Keep reaching. Keep your feet on the ground.
Long distance
and
dedication.
Keep reaching for your stirrups. What? It's been a long time since I've heard Casey.
Apparently.
You
might want to listen to Cool on the weekends.
No, thank you.
Well, every once in a while they play like a year I like, so I'll listen to it for a while.
Yeah, but most of the time it's like, oh, Lord.
Then I'll get out of the car.
As a very short, very shy 8th grader in a new school, I wasn't making friends quickly. A history teacher decided to produce a class project wherein students would model fashions from the 1800s. She had a few garments and requested donations from students' parents and other family members. All the girls in the class found garments to model, but I was too small and none fit me. So I would not be included in the fashion show.
No.
The day before the show, a classmate took me home with her. And we found one of her grandmother's dresses in the attic. It was too large, but she stayed up half the night to alter it. And the next day I marched and twirled with classmates in the fashion show. It broke the ice, and after that I began to make friends. The girl who went out of her way to help me became a special needs teacher, And though we are both now in our 80s, she has remained one of my closest friends. Isn't that sweet? And, you know, if you make me a dress, I'll remember you when I'm 80.
There's not enough material. I'd have to go to Omar, the tent maker.
Why are there all vertical stripes and they're yellow and white? It looks like a circus tent.
No, it's very shishi. It was all over the runways in New York and Milan.
Ooh, I love that.
And Paris. Where else do they do Fashion Week? London, I suppose all the big cities. London, Toledo.
So,
see, I had New Mexico fun facts, but they pale after that.
That's such a sweet story, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll save it for a story just because they're cute and my sister lives in New Mexico now. So I'll share those later.
That's cool. So let's go over to some comments. And I want to check on something here. No, stop that.
By the way, if you haven't commented, you can do that wherever you're listening and or watching us.
Okay.
I would suggest listening because I've seen this.
What the dentist saw, that's where we saw the...
Why does that sound like it should be one of those songs?
Yeah, this is apropos of...
What the dentist saw.
Really News Mailbag, episode 173.
Uh-oh.
What the dentist saw was that guy with the cyst and the larvae in it.
Yeah.
Paddington went missing. That was your story. Yeah. We had a little talk about alphas and Yugos. Oh my. Where the alphas had stuff fall off them, but
alphas,
the Yugos
Omega.
just didn't run.
Why does no one ever have an Omega car is what I want to know.
And then Paddington returned.
Omega is always like the end bad thing.
And I found a coffee cup that I liked a saying on about the song. We did something about the song Double Vision. Oh, you told us what it was about.
Yep.
And
John Davidson, the old Rangers goalie, was the inspiration for the Double Vision portion.
Yeah. So Patrick Reed, our man in Liverpool, says
Vladdy.
And I can't make heads or tails out
Vladimir?
of it.
No, not Vladimir.
I think he's
Vladislav.
I think he's talking about us.
Who?
Patrick?
No.
Our man in Liverpool.
What did he say?
There is a chance, say 58%, that these fine fellows have imbibed too much liquid refreshment. It's true. We were all over the place. So if that's what that
occasionally,
it's the ADHD in us.
Sure, that's it.
Because it's like one of our conversations anytime, because it just goes everywhere.
Yep.
And then it might come back to a thread somewhere from early. Anyway, getting back to the original thought, and it's tomorrow now. So apropos, this is True Really News, episode 947. And this is where you took issue.
We've done almost 1,000 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
The hell is wrong with us?
We're weird. From Patrick Reed, our man in Liverpool.
He's still there.
This is about the whole pronunciation of vegetable debacle.
Vegetable.
Tony.
What?
Why worry about the E in vegetable when you don't care about the E in caramel?
Caramel. Anything else?
I'm with.
Do you people speak English, Vlad? Do you? What was that line from one of the Blue Bloods episodes? A British cop is in New York, and his line was, "We gave you such a beautiful language. Why don't you use it?"
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. We speak American. We do not speak English. That's all there is to it.
We speak English. It's just a different dialect.
Yeah, well, that's true. It's American.
Yep.
So, apropos, this is True Really News, episode 947. This is from D. Combsify, my son, Drew. No relation.
Drewski.
You said...
The Drewster. The Drewamundo.
Oh, he's going to love
Drewman.
Drewamundo. Drewman is the one we came up with most because we thought Drew Boy might sound bad.
Too much like the Waltons? Yeah, that's it. Sure.
So you were saying that if I threw some gasoline on something that, I should wait for you to get there and Drew and Ian could bring the makings for s'mores?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, okay.
We have to bring all the s'more ingredients And we have to wait for Tony. Psst.
I don't see a problem there. Do you?
Apparently Drew does. He's waited for you before.
What? No.
For something.
When has anyone ever had to wait?
Everybody and all the time. Just like me.
Actually, it should have been who, everybody, when, all the time.
Well,
For what? Anything.
amen.
Yeah. Thanks, Drew. I'm feeling better about life now.
Moving on.